Good Moxie morning. Okay, I'm going to talk about something. It's kind of a sensitive subject, but I want you to think about it. Think about if it's something that you suffer from, because I know that a lot of people do. Okay, so when you are marketing online, I've had people confess some things to me. I've had it come up with when I teach people to market, put themselves on video, put themselves out there on social media. I know the real reason most people stop initially. And it's, yes, the fear of being seen, but it goes much deeper than that. So if we were to look at the fear of being seen and what that really means, okay, I would like to bring up something that is very important. You know that Facebook, one of the creators of Facebook, has even come out and expressed that he didn't necessarily like the idea of this addiction quality, this addiction element that Facebook had, okay? So with getting likes and posting and, just all the likes. Because what it does is it does become highly, highly addictive. Because what it does is it messes with your brain, right? So every time we get a click or a like, there's something that happens in the brain, okay, psychologically, and it has an addictive element, like a highly addictive element. So if every time we get a like or we get some kind of feedback, it gives us, I guess, like a hit, right? And, okay, it's literally like a drug. So when I suggest to people that they market online, they do video, and they do all these things, I'm telling you, when you talk about business, especially in the beginning, you're not going to get all those hits and those likes. You're not going to be able, so there's going to be a significant gap between you getting a bunch of likes because you post a picture of your child, right? That's easy. The most clicks and the most likes are pictures of pets, pictures of women's faces, and children, okay? So when you talk about business, people aren't going to like it as much, right? So you're not going to get that dopamine hit. That's what I'm really talking about. I'm talking about dopamine. So there are psychological things that occur when somebody likes posts, when somebody likes our pictures, and so when you are talking about business, you're not going to get those dopamine hits. So if you go from addict where you're needing those likes because that is now your new identity and your new your self-worth. So if you're basing your self-worth on how people respond to you, or based on how people feel about you and how much you're liked and popularity, you are going to struggle in business, especially in the beginning. So there's going to be this feeling of, okay, now I'm talking about business and I don't get as many likes on my posts. Why is that? Well, because that's just the way it is. And so you're going to have to grow out of it. There's going to be this gap. There's going to be this space where you're uncomfortable for a while. And the only thing that you can do to get out of that space of being addicted to likes, okay, and getting those neurological hits, dopamine hits, the only way that you're going to be able to grow out of that is to just do it. Recognize it in yourself, recognize that you have a need to be liked, okay, and that possibly you were getting a dopamine addiction going on with the likes, and that now you have to transition into business and like pour yourself into business, and there will be that gap. So as you begin to increase and change your audience and all of that, here's the thing, the only thing you can do is to pour yourself into service to others. And then, of course, learn how to craft an offer, because you got to make money to fund your business as you go, right? But if you have a service-based business, if you're a coach or consultant, you've got to look at what I'm talking about here. You've really got to look at this, your need, your level of need to be liked. And if it is at a high level and you have based your identity on what other people think of you or how other people feel about you and the liking, if you've based your identity on that, you're going to go through kind of an identity crisis, and it's going to be painful. So I want you to think about how important it is to you to transition. When you start introducing your business, people aren't going to hit likes. Think about what people are doing with Facebook. Think about people, and they're spending a lot of time on it because it's an addict. And Facebook knew this when they put it together. They wrapped it all up. They knew exactly what they were doing, and it had all of the elements of addiction in it, right? It has a lot of good qualities, right? You can do business. It's got fabulous things that we can do with it, but it absolutely is addictive. So what does that mean? Most people that are scrolling, they're literally looking, our attention span has shrunk basically because of it too. And so we're all looking for these feelings, like to catch feelings. And we're liking things, right? And we're receiving likes, and all of that has to do with dopamine in our brains. So look at yourself and ask yourself, do I need to be liked so much that I can't even talk about my business? Because when I talk about my business, I don't get those likes. I don't get that same reaction. And it hurts. It feels unusual, or it just feels different, right? So if you're so wrapped up into getting likes and being liked, business is going to be really hard for you in the beginning. So you've got to pour yourself into service, and you've got to really ask yourself, why are you in business? Is it about you, or is it about your customer? No, it's about your customer. Most people that start their business are doing it because they're wanting to solve a problem and they're wanting to be of service to someone else, right? You've got to immerse yourself in that and get away from that head game that's being played, and get away from the addiction of being liked, okay? There are so many reasons why you need to get away from that. First of all, you won't even be able to market yourself properly and put yourself on camera if you have this incessant need to be liked. And it almost sounds childish, but it's just the way we all are as humans, right? So when we've been presented with a tool that basically is, in a lot of ways, tapping into this dopamine hit need, this addiction, it can pose a problem. But here's the thing, you can't get business when you're wrapped up into being liked. When that's more important, when being liked is more important than actually being of service and to people and to your potential client, your focus is way off. Your focus is not there. People will actually feel it in your energy. So you've got to really focus on why you're in business and what's more important. And you can break this habit if that's what it is, if it's just a habit that you've created, or it could be a lifetime of just trying to be liked. So again, there are so many reasons why the need to be liked can be harmful to your business. There's so many reasons why. Actually, it can be harmful to individuals in general. But if it's interfering with your business and stopping you from actually moving forward in your business because it feels lonely, you've got to surround yourself with a support group of some kind. When I say a support group, it can literally just be a Facebook group where people are very like-minded and they're working on the same projects. Sometimes it could be as simple as that. So you've got to surround yourself with that, okay? And use that energy to keep you in that place, keep you in that zone, okay? And get away. You know, I just talked to, what spurred this conversation was me talking to a gal that I know. I can see it so clearly. This is what she's done her whole life. This need to be liked interferes with her ability to move forward so much that she can't even make money, okay? So she literally can't apply the things that she needs to do in her business because she's so wrapped up in being liked. And she will even learn the same lessons over and over from the same people, okay? Because she's fixated on getting a certain group of people to like her. Okay, when you have this quality, there's an energy or this mindset. I actually call it like a wound. When you have that kind of wound that needs to be healed, you will actually attract more people that you're trying to prove yourself to. So it's not about proving yourself. It's not about getting acceptance. It's about you serving. So if you can't move forward with the kind of marketing that you need to do because you're wrapped up in, you know, somebody liking you, or, oh, what will he think? I'll upset him, then he won't like me. If I say this, it could possibly cause conflict, then they won't like me because my point of view is different. See, this is a trap. It's a trap, and it leads to like no money. It leads to non-growth in your business. It actually leads to non-growth as an individual, definitely as a leader. So step up, be a leader, okay? Being a leader, yes, some of the goals are to connect with who you're leading, right? But not everybody is going to want to be led by you. And so this is something that you've got to understand and just get over this incessant need to be liked. Please get over it. And know that we're all going through it at some degree, but some of us more than others. And it is a wound. It is. It's a wound. It's a wound that basically you're feeding. You're staying in the place of being wounded when you are doing that to yourself. When you are literally choosing that over what you want. I mean, you have a dream, right? You have a goal, you have a dream, and it is literally going to require you to let go of being liked. And there will be some that will love you for it, and they need you to do it. They need you to be the leader and to lead them, because the truth is people are desperately wanting to be led. Okay, so when we look at marketing, we look at call to action, and we look at what you're saying and the energy you're putting out there, it's got to have leadership qualities to it. It has to have a leadership energy for people to follow you, right? You've got to be confident. If you are literally focused on people liking you, you're not going to share your point of view to the conviction that you need to. You're not going to do it. You could say that you're doing it, but you're really not. There's an energy behind it. I promise you there's an energy behind it. Start doing video and getting over it and pouring yourself into you servicing clients, you being a giver. And the thing is that those that are incessantly needing to be liked and they're fixated on that aren't actually givers at all. They appear to be givers in that they're over giving, but they're really not. Okay, because they're just wanting to be liked. Okay, so what kind of leader are you in your own life? What kind of leader are you for your clients, your prospects? Okay, whatever it is that you're growing, whether you call it a business and a service, whether you call it a movement that you're creating, like a revolution, whatever it is that you're doing, you cannot be obsessed with being liked. Okay. You can't. So I hope this helped. I wanted this to be a kind of a wake-up call. Here's another thing. You've got to start being, there are going to be elements of what you share and your point of view that is not always going to be received in the way that you would like. And you've got to get over the hope of that actually occurring. Like the hope of everybody accepting your point of view, okay? Because quite frankly, if everybody accepted your point of view, it simply means that it is, it's not being disruptive enough. It needs to be a little disruptive. If it's so well liked by everybody, it probably means that, well, that's never going to happen, but it probably means there's a very vanilla taste to it, okay? When you're wanting to be liked so much, by so many people, and you don't necessarily, and so therefore you're not being disruptive. You're not, and I'm not saying you have to add conflict, but everybody's point of view is going to be different from somebody else's, okay? So believe it or not, your point of view is actually going to be somewhat disruptive sometimes. And in doing that, you're going to be faced with what feels like a little bit of conflict, right? If you are conflict avoidant to the point of being like a scared rabbit, how can you move forward in one direction, right? What do you see in a little scared rabbit, right? You can picture one now. They're all over the place and they're scared to death, right? Because they're like prey, really. And they're all over the place avoiding, right, what could possibly harm them. Is that you? That's not a leader. That's not a leader. So consider what kind of leader you are in your life, and consider how much on a Richter scale, like how big is your need to be liked? and I'm going to tell you this is like amazes me. In talking to people over the years, I've had people show me their Facebook, they show me their accounts. I've had people with huge lists come to me and making no money because they're not creating offers, they're not connecting well with the email list, with the database. And then I've had people with small lists that are killing it because they are connecting to that smaller list, okay? I've had people come to me with 80,000 likes on their business page and they're making next to no income, okay? It's because they're not doing it right? And that's what they came to me for help. But again, it's a perfect example of this need to be liked, this syndrome, I call it, like the incessant need to be liked was more important to them, okay, than actually being of service, okay? And I'm not saying that a Facebook business page can't be of service without creating income, but that's when you really make an impact, when you actually have the exchange of money for service. You know why? Because when you actually have an exchange of money for service, you actually have a deeper connection, and that person that invested in that particular product or service will most likely take that service seriously and actually put into action. This, especially for coaches and consultants, they will actually most likely put that advice that they purchased and invested in into action, okay? So if you are wanting to be seen as giving, perfect, okay? But if you're not making a profit off of what you're doing and being able to fund your business and grow it, is it really making an impact? Is it really making the impact that you want? It's not, I'm telling you right now, okay? So I know that this is a problem because I talk to many people about it. And they really sometimes aren't even completely aware of it, and I share it with them. But I think this is your problem. You're wanting, instead of doing the right marketing, instead of actually taking action and doing the Facebook Lives and narrowing down your message and showing up consistently, instead of doing that, you are avoiding progress, and it is simply because you have this fear of not being liked, right? Okay, so getting back to what I was saying in the beginning, literally, Facebook was created with addictive elements, right? And addictive elements that cause us to get addicted in a dopamine type way to clicks and being liked. When you start talking about your business, you're not going to get as many likes. You're just not, okay? But here's the thing. You've got to ask yourself, what's more important, me feeling liked or me actually making an impact and being even sometimes disruptive, okay? Because your point of view might be disruptive to some, okay? Get used to that, let it go, and understand that you will actually create more impact by not just always giving, but also creating offers. You've got to tighten up your offer. You've got to have it be irresistible, and there is a way of doing that. And sometimes you've got to ask for the sale, okay? Because that's a business. That's a business. I hope this helped. Quit being so incessantly, let go of the need. I'll say it differently. Let go of the need to be liked, and you will succeed, okay? You're going to be liked, but you shouldn't be so emotionally attached to it that you can't seem to move forward, okay? I can actually see it when I see people on video. I can see, first of all, getting on live video for the first, second, and even third time can be overwhelming. It can be, but what you do, just like when, there are people that are what I would be considered shy or introverted naturally, right? But how do they overcome that? They overcome it by, I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that said this. Eleanor Roosevelt had a quote once, and I was like, that's so true. When you immerse yourself in what you do for others, you will overcome the shyness. You will overcome that, okay? So it's just like almost like a little switch that you just flip that, okay? Quit making it about you and start making it about the service. I always have a pen in my hand, like Bob Dole. Make it about what it is that you do for others. Not about yourself, but what you do for others. Make it about that. And that goes back to what I said yesterday. There's got to be a confidence in what you do for others. Okay, so what is it going to take for you to get to that level of knowing, fully knowing and being fully confident that what you do for others creates a result? Okay, and yesterday I talked about measurable results. What is that measurable result, and can you share this with confidence and conviction? Okay, I help people take their annual income and create it in a month's time and do that consistently. Okay, I'm confident I can do it because I've seen it. I've done it myself with the same strategies that I share with others. I have a conviction. I'm confident and I have a conviction about that. What is it in terms of results and measurable results that you provide for your clients and your prospects? What do you provide that you are absolutely convicted about? Okay, where is the conviction? Okay, so when you feel that and you can put that out there and immerse yourself in that feeling, you will start to make money. Obviously, there's some call to actions. You need to create call to actions, just like I'm going to. If you would like to join a community where I'm trying to do more and more Facebooks in there and explain these on a deeper level, explain these strategies and methods, go to Get Moxie, Make More Money, okay? And I will accept you. And then you can also go to moxiechallenge.com. I've got a challenge going on. My program, my 6-week program just started. It is called Rich, Bliss, and Moxie. 6 weeks, we talk about mindset. We talk about strategies to get your head in the game, okay? So that you can apply some of what I just shared in a much easier way. Because if there's a struggle and you need some help, I've got some strategies, and they're actually practical strategies. They're not woo-woo. They're literally practical strategies that you can apply to change what's going on in your head, and you can overcome this shyness or overcome this need to be liked. And don't be ashamed of it. It is what it is, okay? It is what it is. Don't be ashamed of it. And here's another thing. If you are hiding in shame because you've realized that this need to be liked is bigger than or it's upsetting or interfering with you moving forward and being more progressive in your business, if it's created this block for you, then what we need to do is you basically need to acknowledge it, become aware of it, acknowledge it, and then become intentional about implementing ways to overcome it. And it can actually happen very fast. It can happen very fast. So go to the group, Get Moxie, Make More Money, join if you'd like. We talk about things like this and about putting yourself out there. In fact, I suggest people go into that group, and on Mondays, for instance, I encourage them to get on live stream and actually in a safer environment before they go on their profile if it's stopping them from doing the right kind of marketing. And then if you are interested, private message me about Rich, Bliss, and Moxie. 6 weeks, and the idea is to get your head in the game before summer and actually set some things up so that things are rolling before you actually, or before summer's over, okay? And you start creating this income, monthly income that either matched or surpassed your annual income last year. That's the goal, okay? Have a great afternoon. Thanks for, or actually, what time is it? It's actually morning. Have a great morning. Bye.